Welcome to the Today in History channel. In today's video we will talk about the day, May 16, 1968. The French May. It became known as May 1968, or sometimes French May, a set of union strikes and student revolts that took place in Nanterre and Paris in the months of May and June of that year, against educational, political and economic structures from France. In the 1960s, the deaths of the Kennedy brothers, Martin Luther King, and Che Guevara, one of the organizers and main leaders of the guerrillas and revolutionary movements in Latin America, had imbued society with a strong political burden. In addition, the marked rejection of world public opinion to the Vietnam War, the division of the world into two antagonistic blocs, capitalism and socialism, the decolonizing processes of many African and Asian countries later called Third World, due to their political disorganization and extreme poverty, and the Prague Spring acted as external factors that sparked the revolts in France. It was a decade full of ideologies, influenced by a growing movement of leftist ideals, mainly anti-imperialists, of strong Marxist, Maoist or Castroist ancestry. France was going through a moment of serious internal problems, aggravated by the discontent of the workers, who felt excluded from the economic development that favored only the entrepreneurs, and of the students, in the face of the scant expectations of an average success future. In this environment, an important revolutionary movement has germinated that would have an enormous influence in almost all the Western world, mainly in Latin America. On May 1st, because of Workers' Day, tens of thousands of people demonstrated in the Bastille. The next day the students occupied the rooms of the University of Nanterre, and the next the conflict reached Sorbonne. The revolt was radicalized when the police arrived at the scene, closed its doors and detained 600 students. On the 5th, Sorbonne students were sentenced to 2 months in prison, which increased student discomfort. The following day, around 5,000 students demonstrated at the Sorbonne under the motto, "Freedom for our comrades." In the following days, they demonstrated in the Latin Quarter and began to mobilize in search of support, mainly among unions and factory workers. On May 10th, the police launched an attack to recover order, but failed and left hundreds wounded, culminating in the call for a general strike on the 13th. Since then, workers' protests have increased. A new general strike was called for the 17th, attended by almost 10 million people. On the 23rd, the Sorbonne manifested itself completely, and the fight started on the streets, with the death of a student. President de Gaulle increased wages for all workers and provided guarantees of employment, retirement, and reduced working hours. On the 30th, de Gaulle dissolved the National Assembly and called for new elections. May 68 was a reaction against the whole system, against the whole socio-economic gear, in search of a total reform of the state. The leftist traditional party's little support for the movement was highlighted. Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.